Greet you all students of MA Final. This is paper 4th, Indian Writing in English, and Unit C. We have already started Nissim Askell. This poem we are going to start Poet, Lover and Bird Watcher. Now this poem, it was published in his 5th collection, The Exact Name, and this poem is one of the most remarkable poems in the whole range of English poetry, because the poet himself has highlighted the art of writing poetry. So, the students, this will be beneficial to you, those who are young aspirant, those who are interested in creative writing. So, there are certain traits, qualities, characteristic features required for writing a good poem. Now, when we talk about this poem, Poet, Lover and Bird Watcher, see, the poet, he has applied the technique of parallelism. And there is sort of similarity among these three acts. And what are these three acts? Art of writing poetry, and love making, and watching birds, and bird watching, which is called ornithology. The important point is that success, the notion of success, the metaphor of success, which the poet wants to highlight in this poem. So how to get success in the task that you want to do? So we must have, students, mind you that we must have some specific goal, and how to achieve the goal is the crux of this poem. It's not that you study this poem just at superficial level. See, the deeper knowledge of the poet's ideas, his inner urge, and the innermost emotions, the passions that he wants to convey. Now, when we start studying this poem, mind you, the poet, he himself has reiterated his passion. And what is his passion? Yes, 3P, again remember. And poetry, obviously, his first and foremost passion. So it is concerned with creative writing. That's why you must listen to it very carefully. And we would have interactive sessions, so you would give some response of that. But you must remember that when you start studying this poem, see, his other poems published in 60 poems, his last collection, and title of other poems and similar kind of poems, poetry and creation. So we can study those poems also in order to have better understanding of this poem, because we have some similar kind of expressions. And the poet, now when we highlight the point of writing poetry, yes, so the poet, he has mentioned the method. Now, which kind of method we can adopt now? Yes, obviously the method, the approach that you would use and that you apply, or you all the time you search for that, oh, this will the better method. And therefore his focus is on the art of writing. And this, as I told you earlier, the technique of parallelism. Why? Because there is resemblance, similarity in art of writing, love making and bird watching. That is called ornithology. So this is the purpose. What is the purpose? Is achieving the goal and to get success. And he has used highly suggestive metaphor of poetic perception. And what are the characteristic features required for this? Yes. Then he would, highlight the point that patience and determination and perseverance, certain points that he is going to highlight. And now, one point I would like to mention here, that this, the point that this poem, it was earlier, wonderfully orchestrated. It was sung with the company of orchestra. Yes, so the tone is also very important, don't forget it. This is also very important point. And this, the tone becoming impassioned, and the we have jubilance and exuberance, all these kinds of ideas, with the blend of feelings and his innermost emotions. And it it rises to the crescendo. That's why Nizam Askel, he himself points out in one of his interviews that it is one of his favorite poems. And what is the reason behind this? Yes, because there are certain images that touch his core of heart in all these three important tasks that he is going to highlight. Now, when he, talks about bird watching and love making, what is the reason behind this? We have, see, the merging the images is very important point. It how he has used this kind of analogy. Now we have, the images merge into other, like, for instance, lover and the art of love, and that is, the poet, he tends to highlight this point also. And even when he highlights the point of stillness, what is the reason behind it? See, calm and quiet and the patience. And then at the same time, we have metaphor of this stillness. Even in human life, whatever task you want to do, and especially when creative writing, creative experience, it is very, very significant, because it is a great contribution to the society. It can mold the mindset of the people, and there can be radical change in the society. So see, art of writing, it's not confined to an individual. See, this is really integrated with the society. So creative experience, mind you, it is intensely concerned with the societal setup and social, cultural, political, religious, spiritual developments, enhancements, upliftments. Therefore, remember that art of writing, which is absolutely obviously the poet, it gives a sort of enjoyment, but that enjoyment enhances when it really touches the heart, the core of heart of the people in the world. And at the same time, it would be really a great contribution. When contribution in the sense, not only in one dimension, see, in multi-dimensional aspect of that contribution. So the poet here points out that, when we begin this poem, see the word metaphor of force in the beginning. To force, yes, the pace, yes, the step forward, and never to be still. So see the style of writing. He begins the poem with two negative terms. See, to force the pace and never to be still. There is paradox in that. So this is not an art of writing. It is not required at all. So this is style of writing. When we have double negative, it is positive. So to force the pace and never to be still. So, and at the same time, the poet, he wants to highlight the point that What kind of qualities required for writing a poem? Yes, patience. Patience is one of the important qualities traits. So still, to be still is not the, see again, never and not. So mind you, students of MA final, see the style of writing. The poet, he wants to highlight the focus, the method of writing. Why? To get success in writing a poem. So for that, the characteristic feature that he has highlighted, you should never be still. To be still, and this is the negative, it means you must have patience. This is the idea. And to choose this, yes, study birds, and very quickly, very the art of writing, which is directly concerned also with other arts. So in a way, we have confluence of various aspects. So study words at the same time as parallelism, the poet, he has used this technique. Even in watching birds, it requires patience. You have to wait, you have to be still, and at the time. And the best poets wait for words. So the idea underlying is that you have to wait, you have to have patience. And the strikes, so it strikes a parallel between the poet, lover, and bird watcher. The poet here again, the stillness. Now what kind of stillness? That one listens to the different sounds, and the sounds of even the images, and the each, and the poet, even in the, say, the in the second line, the poet again, he has highlighted the significance of study or bird watching, study words. And then the third women, that is, yes, love making. Yeah, all these three tasks. So the word, it is very, very important word in which the poet wants to reiterate the significance of all these three and parallelism among these three acts. Now the best poets wait for words means they have to wait, in the sense patience. They, sometimes the moments, and see the spontaneity. Now here it is concerned with spontaneity in art of writing. And spontaneity again, how you can have spontaneity? Immediate reaction of that. But again, you will have some time. It requires much times. And the third important point the poet has highlighted again, yes, the hunt is not an exercise of will, but patient love, yes, relaxing on a hill. Simultaneously, all these three acts, he sometimes, points out the art of writing poetry, then he switch over to bird watching, and then love making. See the tremendous style the poet here he has. And the readers, they are really impressed with the notion of, yes, the notion of patience, the quality of determination here. And the poet, when he talks about watching birds, we have certain images also at the same time. So we will continue the point. Thank you.